Hi there, it's Robi Ko, Robi Realtor, Robin Aluko with Season 1, Episode 4 of At Home with Robi Ko. Today's episode is all about the top 8 reasons why you should buy a home. Reason number 1, pride in ownership. Homeowners generally care about their properties and often go through the steps necessary to maintain and beautify their neighborhoods. In addition, homeowners are more connected to the community and more active and vocal about issues and concerns that affect them. Where do homeowners go? They go to the community meetings. They go to City Hall to voice their concerns. They write letters to their council people. They write letters to their legislators. They do more in order to try to make the neighborhood or the community better. That is pride. How often do you see somebody outside sweeping up? I can bet you $1 to a donut. My friend Lorraine used to say that all the time. $1 to a donut, that people that you see outside sweeping up, picking up trash off the street, that's the homeowner. Reason number 2, appreciation and benefits of equity. Now, I just want to say that in Philadelphia right now, the home appreciation rate over the past 12 months has been about 4.28%, which is at or slightly above the national average. Also, in the latest quarter, Philadelphia's appreciation rate was 1.12%, which is annualized at 4.55%. That's pretty big. What kind of investment can you have in your life? Tell me, because if you know something, let me know. I want to know all about it. That you can use it and it appreciates and it's pretty safe. It's very unlikely that you would lose the property that you're living in. Unless, of course, you don't pay the mortgage, or if you don't pay the taxes, if you don't do some other thing. But generally, I'd say that owning a home is a pretty safe investment. After about 7 years, you would have paid enough into your mortgage to begin affecting the principal. When you start paying your mortgage payment, what happens is you put a lot of money towards interest, and then a small amount goes towards the principal. But as the years go on, the interest amount goes down and the principal amount increases. And so that's a great way to affect the equity in your home, that coupled with an actual higher valuation. Let me say this in a different way, because sometimes I know what I'm talking about, but I'm not clear. Okay, for example, you purchase a house for $100,000. And for the sake of round numbers, I'm going to say your mortgage was $100,000. After 7 years, you pay off $15,000. That sounds good, right? So $15,000 minus $100,000 minus $15,000 is $85,000. Okay, so $85,000 is left on your mortgage. What if now your house is worth $116,000? So the $16,000 over 100 plus 15 equals 31. You now have $31,000 in equity. I hope this is clear. I can explain it much better in person, but we're working on it right now. Okay, this is in person when you think about it. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm being silly today. Anyway, your house is very likely to increase if you purchase in a good neighborhood. Now, I don't want to say the wrong thing on this. There are a lot of different things that help make a neighborhood great. And I'd say for the most part, it has a lot to do with the people who are living there. But if your house is near a business or several businesses, restaurants, bars, taverns, grocery stores, hospitals, and other businesses, schools, colleges, whatever. If your house is close to that place, it's a very good likelihood that the value of that property will increase over time. In Philadelphia and across the nation, there is an index called the walkability score. And the higher that score is, the better neighborhood you actually live in. Let me give you an example. If you live in Center City, you can take care of a lot of your errands by walking. If you want to go to Trader Joe's, they have a new one at Broad and Arch. Or if you wanted to go to Reading Terminal to get your groceries, if you wanted to go to ice skating, you could do that. If you want to have a great meal, you could do that. There are great schools in Center City, all of that. You got your Friends School, Friends Select, you have Russell Bias Charter, all of these different schools are right in Center City. So, and you can walk to them depending on where you are in that neighborhood. So Center City has, I would guess, I guess I should have checked that before I started talking about it. But sure, I would guess that Center City has a high walkability score. There are some neighborhoods that don't have access to food, or they call them food deserts, whatever. Those neighborhoods would typically have a lower walkability score. Now, please note, that's not to say that things can't change. We need people like you to come into those neighborhoods and bring your resources and your know-how in order to make things better. Pow. Okay, also, equity. When you find that there's some equity in your property, and usually that's going to work around year 7. It's not an exact science, but based on my experience, around year 7, you will, as a homeowner, find that there is some equity in your property that you can use in order to pay bills, pay down some high credit card debt you might have, or if you already have college loans, fees, things of that nature. You can pay down debt or any other thing that you can do in order to improve your quality of life. You can also put any remaining money that you have left over in savings. A home is one of the best investments with the least amount of risk. A home is one of the best investments with least risk. Unlike investing in stock and other speculative markets, a home purchase has little risk. If you have already purchased a home, investigate in buying another property like a rental or something that you're going to use maybe for an Airbnb, whatever it is, as an investor to create an additional stream of income. Now, I always talk about this. Buying a home and leaving it for your kids or your grandkids is a great idea. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to influence you. I really am trying to influence you. But it's important to buy the house first, get your equity, improve your quality of life. You can even use equity in your home in order to buy another home. That's something that you can do. So there are so many different opportunities out here to create wealth. And what we need right now is the opportunity to create and transfer wealth to future generations so that we don't have to keep starting over and over and over and over again. I can't stress the importance of passing down an asset or assets to your heirs. I can't stress that enough. They got to get up in society. They must have help. Get a leg up in society. We've got to have help. Whatever you do, please strive to pass on an asset to your family members. Decide while you're still living that this is something that you're going to do. Don't wait like so many people do. Just die and the house never gets transferred to the person that it was intended to be transferred to. For example, in Philadelphia, we have a horrible problem with tangled titles. That is, someone purchased a property and they had heirs, but the owner of the property didn't take the steps necessary to make sure that when they died, the house transferred over to the person with little difficulty. There are thousands, tens of thousands of people in Philadelphia right now who are living in properties that are not in their names. It might be Grandma Bessie house or my great-great-grandmother house or whatever it is, a family house, but for whatever reason, the title was never changed over to the person who's living there or to the heir, and maybe there's an issue with a water bill or gas bill or some other thing. And so those people who are living under those circumstances have difficulty. In a future episode of At Home with Robi Ko, I'll talk to you about tangled titles and how, if you're a person who's living in a property under those circumstances, how you can get help. Tax savings and income production. That's number 5 on my list of things that you should consider before you buy a house. Or the real title is the top 8 reasons why you should buy a house. Mortgage interest, real estate taxes, private mortgage insurance. Let me say that again. Mortgage interest, real estate taxes, private mortgage insurance, points, and profit from selling your home may reduce your tax liability. Should I say that again? Mortgage interest, real estate taxes, private mortgage insurance, private mortgage insurance. Can't talk today. Points and profit from selling your home may reduce your tax liability. If you live in the home for at least 2 years out of the last 5 years prior to your selling the home, as a single person, you can deduct $250,000. I'm going to say that again. You can deduct $250,000 from any profit that you make on the home. If you are a couple, that number goes up to $500,000. You can deduct $500,000 from any profit that you make on the home. Keep in mind that the other person who was your spouse also needs to meet the residency requirement. I think that's fantastic. But what if you decide that you want to rent your home instead of selling it? Well, there's a lot of opportunity for that with Airbnbs, commercial and residential tenants. There are so very many different ways in order to earn passive income from a property. Now, I got to tell you this. If you make improvements to the energy efficiency of your house, such as installing a geothermal heater or a solar energy system, Philadelphia has great deals on applying a solar panel to your house in order to reduce your electric bill. I might talk about that in a future episode of At Home with Robi Ko. But I'm saying all that to say that the federal government will give you a tax credit of 30% of the installation cost. So if I wanted to, well, we did. We installed windows here at the house. A storm door could qualify. Any other thing that improves the energy efficiency of your home can help you to receive that 30% tax credit. And I think that's an incredible thing to do, because you're going to get the 30%, but then over time, because you're going to be using less energy, your heating bills and your cooling bills will be a lot cheaper, and you'll save money in the long run. Number 6, provide stability and increased performance for children. I'm going to say that we all know somebody who moves a lot. I had a relative who was very close to me who every time he turned around, she was moving here, moving there, moving to another town, moving to another state, whatever. She was always on the go. And I guess in a lot of ways it was good for her and for her as far as her career and finding herself, but it may have been a challenge for children to be able to, or rather to have to start over again in a new place very frequently. Studies show that owning a home offers more stability to children, and it helps them to perform better in school. So I'll also say that number 7, I only got 5 fingers on here, but imagine I'm holding up 7. Interest rates are low. The current interest rate in Philadelphia is around 3.99%, with offerings between 3% and 3.84, I'm sorry, and 7.84%. Let me just say that again to make sure that we're clear. Offerings are between 3% and 7.84% in this area. Now, I remember when I was a young girl and Ronald Reagan was the president of the United States. Interest rates at that time were well over 15%. I don't know what people were doing in order to buy properties. I don't know how they managed, but paying 3%, 4%, 5% is a whole heck of a lot better than paying 15% for interest. So now is a great time. Historical low interest rates. So why not do it today? And the final reason for buying a house, why it's a good idea to buy a house, why it's a good idea to buy a house. I'm all off the mark. Wait a minute. Let me say it like this. Get it right. Is that it's great knowing that your housing payment is going to stay the same year after year. Now, I have to say that sometimes your payment can change because of taxes. I remember when a certain mayor raised taxes maybe about 3 or 4 times while he was in office, and it hurts. It hurt us a lot, just even to hear about it, that taxes were being raised yet again. It can make an impact on how much you pay. So if you buy your house and your income, if you buy your house and your taxes are $1,000, I like to use round numbers, and then suddenly you have a reassessment and the Office of Property Assessment says, oh, wow, this house is fantastic. We don't think that it should be $1,000. Maybe it should be $1,500. You're going to have to pay that difference, including increasing the amount of money that you have in your escrow account. So that could cause a jam up for you, but you have to plan for that probability. It's very probable that taxes are going to be increased, and you're going to have to pay an additional amount in the long run. But when you think about it overall, you're probably still going to be saving money as compared to your renting an apartment. You can use that extra money. You can use that extra money that you have between renting and owning to pay down any high interest debt that you might have. You can accelerate the payment of your mortgage. You can do a lot of things with that extra money. And there you have it. The top 8 reasons why you should buy a house. If you need help with a home purchase, feel free to contact me. I'd be very happy to help you. I work frequently with buyers and sellers and have the skills and resources you need to make it to the finish line. Call me or text me at 215-906-4907 or send an email to robbie@rko-realty.com. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on all social media platforms. Tune in next week, y'all. I'm sorry, I didn't know why I do that. Tune in next week while I will discuss the benefits of the Philly First Home program and tell you how to apply for down payment assistance. I thank you very much for watching. I'm Robin Aluko, and I go to work for you.